Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 2 playthrough! It is time for us to finish off Beast's Castle. For the day anyway, because I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but basically we will have second visits to almost all of the worlds that we visit, which is quite awesome, but it does mean that there's a slight disjointedness to the stories, because they get a little bit weird, but either way, we need to go save Belle. And on the way, beat up a load of stuff, because I want to get to a higher level, because I want Sora to be about 16 rather than 15. Also, yeah, we're missing 4 chests right now. Let's just say one of those is in the Undercroft, and I am a dingbat, an absolute well and true dingbat, and I'm going to be running around the entire castle fighting Heartless, trying to find it for a reasonable amount of time. And all I needed to do was just go forward into the blooming Undercroft there, and I would have been fine. Now, as I was saying, the Beast's limit is quite cool. Stalwart, Fang, it's just really awesome, I think. But having said that, Stalwart's a really weird word. It doesn't really get used a whole lot. Basically it means strongly or stoutly built, sturdy, robust, that sort of thing. Or like of a person, resolute, unbending, determined, valiant, and so on and so forth. I think kind of the earliest usage seems to be from around the 1420s, 1400-ish. So you have in Saint Catherine, bade her be of Stalwart will, and in Saint Placidus, for thy mon thou hast stalwart nicht to resist him mark the bone. Yeah, you get the gist. Now, we're actually going to be going to an area of Beast Castle that you have absolutely no reason to go to in your first trip to Beast Castle, because I was searching for chests, and also because, you know, I wanted to level up, and that is the courtyard, which is just through the big doors at the end here. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't start us off in the courtyard, but yeah, whatever, it's fine by me. It means we get to do a little bit more playing about. And seeing as I've really not got that much to talk about left with Beast Castle for now, I might as well get into my problem with the music for Kingdom Hearts. So, basically, from what I recall, when Yoko Shimomura does the music and composes it all, she looks at the film, but she does not listen to their soundtracks at all, because she doesn't want to be influenced by them and include bits, which I find to be I mean, it works if you're creating something based on something that isn't necessarily well known for its music. However, Disney is Like, when people think back to Disney films, they nominally think of the songs. So, with Beauty and the Beast, you have Belle at the beginning, the little town, it's a quiet village, every day like the one before. Then you have the tale as old as time, do-do-do-do-do. True as it can be, barely even friends, then somebody bends, Beauty and the Beast. And be our guest, put our service to the test, tie your napkin round your neck, cherie, and we provide the rest. Super sure, hot hors d'oeuvres, why we only live to serve. Try the grey stuff, it's delicious, don't believe me, ask the dishes. They can sing, they can dance, after all, miss, this is France, and the dinner here is never second best. Come on and fold your menu, take a glance, and then you'll be our guest, we our guest, be our guest. So, that's what you remember from Beauty and the Beast. And that's kind of what I always think about when I think of Disney. And while Beast Castle actually does use Beauty and the Beast in it, in one of the cutscenes, it's a very, very, very rare thing. It doesn't happen. Like, I think the only kind of exceptions that I can explicitly think of where the proper songs are used are 100 Acre Wood, where you hear the Winnie the Pooh, tubby little chub, or whatever. All stuff with Fluffy's Winnie the Pooh, silly nilly willy old bear. And Port Royal has the He's a Pirate, the yeah. And when Cinderella was in Birth by Sleep, they did use the Salakadoola Minchikaroola Bibbity Bobbity Boo, put them together and what have you got? Bibbity Bobbity Boo. And also, you have Atlantica, which has the Under the Sea, and one other song which appears in this game when Atlantica turns up. But those are kind of the only instances where it's used, and it is just used kind of straight off. It's just the original music, and that's your lot. And I honestly feel that it does just sap the world of a slight sense of where they come from. Like, I mean, they've got almost everything there, but a lack of attention to the music, just, it's really rubbing me up the wrong way these days. I never used to have a problem with it. And then, like, I heard some kind of fan-made versions of songs, and it's just like, why couldn't you have done that? 'Cause, I mean, not using Hellfire during Le Cité de Cloche, with Hunchback of Notre Dame in Dream Drop Distance, was just ridiculous, because that's an amazing song. It would have been an amazing boss song. And, like, if Frozen ever happens, there's a guy, or person, I'm not quite sure, who I think is called Blue Nocturne, who has done kind of, like, playful tests. And yeah, they've done, like, Pocahontas and Tangled and Frozen, and basically, in the style of Yoko Shimomura's music, they've taken the original songs and made them Shimomura-y. And all it really takes is just, you just need a selection of notes. It doesn't even need to be the entire song. Just something that excites that little bit in your brain where it's just like, oh my god, that's that song. Because, I mean, I know for the fact that I get quite excited whenever I'm kind of fighting to songs that I know. I mean, it's one of the reasons why, like, Fly Me to the Moon in Bayonetta is so awesome. It's because it's something that you recognise, and it's just like, this is just awesome. And Bayonetta 2 has Moon River, it's just... And they're remixed, they're not the original things, but they're kind of brought into the style of the game's soundtrack. And that's what I think, well, should happen in Kingdom Hearts, because that would just make me so happy. And I'm sure it would make a lot of other people happy as well, because that music is sort of integral to so many Disney films. And it just feels like a trick has been completely missed. Just because Yoko Shimomura wants to do her own music, which is fair enough, and she's a great composer. But I think there needs to be at least a mixture between completely original tracks and tracks which pay homage to the source material that the game's kind of using. I mean, I assume there may also be an issue with copyrights, because obviously then you have to kind of pay royalties to the composer and all that jazz. But Disney are kind of putting money into this as well, I would assume, and they're advertising it enough as well, so it's just like, come on. Even the Avengers Age of Ultron can make use of I've Got No Strings to Hold Me Down in the bloody trailer. That was released very recently when I'm recording this video. It'll probably be a couple of weeks by the time this video goes up. But it's just like, that type of thing just makes things so much cooler. And I really just feel like there's a trick missed, and it's beginning to really irritate me. Because I really want Kingdom Hearts to be the best it could possibly be. And it just feels like it's lacking because of that. And I mean, it's something that gets even worse in some of the later worlds, where there is just no music at all, and scenes which had a lot of emotional resonance in the film because of the soundtrack that was given to it are kind of just sapped of their life somewhat. I mean, I'm pretty sure it happens in Beast Castle as well, but I can't quite remember where. Because there was a moment where they do the ballroom scene, and it is just sapped of energy because of the kind of very quiet MIDI rendition of Beauty and the Beast that they use, and I think it just could have been so much improved. I mean, I think some of the issues that I've got will be fixed come 2.5 HD Remix, because some of the music is, well, I think all of the music's been remixed, so it's much higher quality, so it's much more closer to actual instruments. So that will help quite a lot. But still there's a sort of lifelessness sometimes about the music, and it's frustrating.
I'm all right.
But here we have our boss, Beast's Castle.
Wow.
So this thing is the Shadow Stalker. And it's essentially like a Possessor, except it's got all these chains on it, and it moves about a ridiculous amount and possesses stuff. It's a really cool fight, really. I do like it. Particularly because it does transform the ballroom into sort of something that is slightly terrifying. And it's also quite cool because the fight is split into two parts. One with the Shadow Stalker here, and then there is another form. And that's relatively unusual for the bosses in this game. They're generally just kind of one form. But this guy has two. And he is a reasonable challenge, which is quite nice because some of the other ones aren't the best things in the world. But I'd say that this fight is also quite awesome because of some of the reaction commands you can pull off. Unfortunately, I'm not actually going to be pulling them off for I don't know what reason, but yeah, there's a point where you get to spin on the chandelier and it's just awesome. Oh, I just wasn't able to pull it off. It's a slight problem of reaction commands sometimes. Sometimes they disappear so quickly that you just don't get the chance to make use of them. And sometimes they're used way too much, which can be irritating, but I'd rather get to see the awesomeness than have to unfortunately miss it because I wasn't quick enough on the draw. And as I said, he's not quite done just yet. Because he's going to transform from the Shadow Stalker into... Come on, hurry up. This isn't a Mega Revolution, dude. The Dark Thorn. Which is a really, really cool design. I do like it quite a lot. I mean, it's an interesting fight as well because he does the invisibility thing of Shadow Sneak in Deep Jungle in the original game. Thankfully, the fact that you can lock onto him does mean that that is kind of null and void almost. But either way. Also, I am so making use of Valor Form again. I want to end as many worlds as possible in a form, because it just looks cool. And also because I don't think it's something that a lot of people tend to do, and I want to try and make it so that this is as unique a run of Kingdom Hearts 2 as possible, considering how many people are going to be doing Kingdom Hearts 2 runs when 2.5 HD Remix comes out, / has come out, in which case there is a lot of Kingdom Hearts 2 on the internet. I mean, there was before, but this is going to be worse. Yes, at this point you should be able to swing on the chandelier, but I screwed it up. Also, there's Valor Form leveled up. It happens reasonably quickly. Just gotta hit loads of stuff. But the Dark Thorn is dead, and Beast Castle is saved! For now, anyway.
We did it!
So you think.
Zaldin!
Farewell.
What does he want here?
He must be with Organization 13. Ever heard of the Nobodies? When a strong-hearted person turns into a Heartless, a Nobody is created too. See, the Organization, they've got control of all the Nobodies.
That's right. They were gonna make you into a Heartless. That way they could get that nobody of yours and have control over it.
You're all right.
Belle! I'm sorry. I wasn't myself. I hope I haven't done anything to hurt you. Forgive me.
I know you weren't yourself. You don't have to apologize. But I had hoped that you might have changed a little bit. I wish you could start trusting me.
Oh, I am afraid time is running short.
What do you mean?
Remember the rose?
From the beast's womb?
Precisely. You see, if the master can learn to love and earn love in return before the last petal falls,
The spell will be broken.
Really? You think he's gonna make it?
We think so.
Yup, I think you're right.
I hope you're right.
What happened?
The gate is open!
Do you have to go?
Yeah.
Now, no more arguing, okay?
We'll see to it.
Take care, dears.
you are welcome here any time.
If you hear anything about Riku, or the King, the Heartless, the organization, anything at all, let us know. Okay, gotta go.
Bye!